So okay, so the first thing is, okay, so basically whenever you do a code review, first thing you should check for any code duplications are there or not. So whenever yesterday I just checked few things. So if you see here, it is for Angular 8. Okay, you see the same code will be repeated almost everywhere. Hope you're getting my point. You see the same syntax almost everywhere is this. So basically, this way when it is there, you have to have a common place where all these type of functions are called, and label is something very unique. So you see in the code structure, I hope you all know how the code works, right? So if you see each TypeScript code will have their own style, that is Sass. Okay, this is used only when you have very minor change in your application in this screen. Okay, not the entire whole application having the same thing. This is a wrong practice. Basically this all you have to move in a common place. Okay, so you getting my point. So how many people are there? Okay, right, so this is one thing, and second thing, you should not use pixels. Okay, you should be using rem. Okay, you can check out what is the difference between pixel and rem. Okay, so basically you have to divide this 28 pixels divided by 16. Okay, you'll get this. This is what you have to use. REM. Basically everything, even 1 pixels, you should change it actually. Pixels, what happens? The responsiveness of the application goes off. So you have to use REM for that. So you're getting my point. I'm going to talk about CSS first, then I'll go to the TypeScript. Second, these type of things, right? The background thing. Since you're using Sass, right? You should actually have a global scope, right? Say, I'm just going to give a name, right? And you should use that, for example, here, like this. You should not hard code any of the colors and fonts also, so that whenever you change in one place, it reflects in other places also. Orange color I'm saying, but you have to say tab colors for this. This is stripe, right? So make it meaningful. Okay. So give it name nicely. Okay. And if you are using underscore like this, you're splitting the colors means you should follow the same thing across the application. One place you're using underscore, some place you're using camel place, it's not acceptable. See, like this. Either you should use it like this, or like this. Okay, so you should standardize on each of them. So people mostly prefer to go via this way, not the underscore. Okay, this is the standard which people follows. So this is called camel case. Okay, pretty much everywhere you have to use camel case. Okay, but CSS as such uses a hyphen, but here in Sass you can go with this. So you need to standardize on one method. Okay, so that is one thing. And here you see this new button. Okay, delete button. Standardize in one place, not in every places. Okay, that's one thing I wanted to make sure. And you should try to avoid important as much as possible. Okay, if it is not avoidable, then fine, but avoidable. So to be point to be taken is common CSS you have to use. Okay, second, common CSS. Okay, common CSS. Second is no hard coding. Okay, for maintenance. This is got it. And coding standard. So use camel case. Okay, so any questions with this? And no pixels. So any questions?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, who's this?
Uh, Neha, sir. Hello, sir. We already
Hey,
create the common CSS file.
but okay,
Maybe
you have already.
developer forgot to remove those classes. We already create the common.css file in asset folder.
Okay, let me check in assets folder. Where is it?
Not, sir. Minimize that. Wait, sir. Yes, sir. Second one, common.css.
So why important is used everywhere, right?
Yes, sir. We use
Why?
it.
No, this is actually you should not use important actually. Try
Actually,
to
sir,
see
we
how we can.
already spoke to Vipul, sir. He suggests to add the important property.
Mhm. Okay, but no, actually important is something you should only use when you are overriding it. I think these are not override methods, right? Let's see, where are you overriding it? So this is just with Kento class. So you're overriding it here. Okay. Okay. Uh, so just try to see whether you can overcome without using this one.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Important. The reason is if you have important, right? What happens is if you want to change one more thing, you will go and create another class and then you will import it and then there'll be another class available. Okay. So that's why important is only used whenever necessary, not like overall everywhere. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So main dot class. Okay. So why as a class? Why as a CSS, not as SAS? Okay. So okay. So this is the okay. So so just first thing is try to remove importance. Okay, and see if you can do it without important. Okay. Now you got it.
Yes, sir.
And same thing colors. Try to change this to SAS and then change the background color. Move to all commonplace and then use that here and remove
Okay,
all
sir. We will do.
pixels to RE.
Yes, sir. We will do, sir.
Okay. So and font also you should use the standard font. Not everywhere you should not have different fonts. So try to use that. So as such, this is set. So CSS is done, and whenever you're creating a function, right? So as a reviewer, you have to make sure that unnecessary CSS don't add it. Okay. Second thing, coming to the application as such, try to remove the SAS from every application, unless and until it is needed only add it. Okay. So you can remove it from here. Okay. And the file also. Okay. Only whenever it is required, see whether you can't handle from common CSS, then you do it, or else don't add a separate class file. Got it?
Okay, sir.
Eh, so any questions from this after? Okay. So if there is anything, you can ask me. So now coming to this coding standards. So here, okay, let's say um, this one. So you should avoid using any at any cost. You should not use any. Then there's no point of using TypeScript. So you know what is a TypeScript, right? You can just go with JavaScript basically. Okay. So let's say example. So next one is you see this is preform. So basically you should use camel case here. So these are very important while writing, while reviewing. You should make sure that these are all there. Got it? And I am thinking success to be a boolean, so make sure it's a boolean. Okay. And suppose if it is an object, create an interface. So basically, what you have to do, like application, I created enums, right? So same thing you should use. Uh, Basically, people do like this actually. Okay, you see it types, it automatically changes. So you know what is an interface, right? So you see here this
Yes,
ng
sir.
model. This is an interface, like a declaration. Like this is importing, so it is like this. So let's take one example. Exam code, right? Here any is used. So what is expected for this method is, here you see operand this and this. Okay. So basically what you can do is, I'm just going to show it you how to do, but you guys are going to do it. So, so exam search.ts. Okay, you can name it better. I don't know what is E for. So stop procedure dot for now, maybe E is something insert, I'll say, assume like this insert. I don't know, you need to check that out. Okay, so it's going to be insert. It's going to be stop procedure. And this is going to be, say, a string. I think this is going to be a number. Got it? So now this one you have to make it a, instead of any, it should be this exam selection and may import it, right? So that, so when, I don't know why we are using this dot object list, basically you should just make it as const and use it and say okay, so it throws an error, right? Because it is not a string. You should make it as store procedure dot and expected insert, and make sure that you beautify it so it is easy to read, right? That's it. Now if I give an extra one, right? So let's take temp. It will throw an error because this is not expected out of this guy. It is not there. So this is why you are using TypeScript, and most of the bugs will get captured. Getting my point? And what is this? Is it a number or what is this? So you should mention. So I'm going to make sure you throw an error when you compile. Okay. So as a reviewer, you should not accept anything as any. Any is not acceptable. You have to make sure what is it. And same thing, this underscore here and someplace it is camel capital letters, someplace camel case. No, it's not accepted. So you should make sure that it is all properly fine. You see, this is actually really professional. This looks really nice. It's an array of string, right? So this is really nice. Same boolean. So these are all nice, but I'm not sure what is this. Any means what is it? I have no idea. As a reviewer, the person who's I am seeing, I can't understand it. Got it? So any questions in this so far? Guys, you there?
Yes, sir.
So what all is it? So can someone summarize?
first use the variable names in camel case. Try to avoid the any data type. Instead of that,
Yeah.
you can use the interface, and by using that interface, you can access that the variables data.
Okay. So suppose there are obviously you're going to have thousands of types, right? You keep on adding. So you should make sure that you don't repeat the same types again and again. Got it? If the same type is there, it's defined, then you should see whether that function can be reused. Got it? You should not copy, say, this function and paste it in another one. You should try to reuse this function again and again. Getting my point?
Yes, sir. We can do.
And second thing, this is a method called subscribe. So subscribe has two things. One is success, and then another is a failure. Right? You see there's an error. This case is not at all handled. Okay, whenever you write a code, always you should, as a software engineer, you should think of error cases because always there is going to be an error case. Okay, that is that's one. Second thing, as Vipul and Nitin said, the function itself will return an error condition. I don't see a condition handled at all. So where I don't see a function handled. So you should make sure that whenever this type of subscript comes, whenever the subscript comes, you should make sure that error cases are handled or not. If not, then you should not accept the PR. You should ask the developer to handle the error case. Second thing, this queue as any is not accepted. You should make sure that you give a proper type for it. Getting my point? This is important. And third thing, I think yesterday I was doing just one thing. Okay. See here, great text, right? How you can make it better? Can anyone tell me? You see, this all is there, right? So the grades make it as enums. Like this case comes, right? Always it should be an enum. Getting point? You know what is an enum, right? Let me pick up someone. Okay, let's go with Mahesh. You know what's an enum, right?
Yes, sir.
Mahesh, you there? What is
Yes, sir.
enum? What is an enum? You there?
Yes, sir.
So what is an enum? Okay, so I'm not going to buy it. You can just tell me. Okay, so basically, so enum is something where you keep a track of each variable. What is it going to be? Okay, so let's go to this guy and say, now you see, this is actually meaningful. Okay, so anywhere you use, okay, grade or precast. So what all grades are available, I can go and check the list. And you can make sure that, okay, all the cases are handled or not. Getting my point? Or else you'll not be able to find out. So, okay, grade. Okay, grades means we'll assume something, but something would have got implemented. So you should make sure that it is implemented. Getting my point?
Hello, sir. Can you please explain it once again? I did not get your point.
So any let's say this is one example I just took. Okay, so whenever there is a switch case like this or any iteration based, you see these all are iterations based. You should not hard code them. You should always get it from an enum or a configuration. Okay, these are all called hard coding, which is not right actually to do it. Okay, either you have to see this can be used across any multiple places. Let's see. Why 1 second? Why is this test folder there here? And make sure that you don't commit something like this. Okay, if you add, it's going to create a lot of memory issue. So whenever you do, just try to like this temporary files don't allow them. Okay. Um, so let's check whether grade is used across. Same thing. This one, you see this English mandate no. Likewise is that right? So this all you can move to an enum. So these type of things, right? You should not hard code them. You should make sure that okay, go there, go to enums. Okay, basically this comes under types, but it's okay. Enums lang right. So whenever it comes here, lang dot okay. So you see this will look nice actually. Same thing, yes or no. You can put in a variable and do it. So what happens? This will be more readable, and you know what all cases are handled or not. Getting my point? And you see, this is actually you can try to minimize this set of logic actually. So you see how we can minimize it. And you see this type of logic is not good at all. You see this instead you can just put it in one line, right? And it should be always triple equal to, not double equal to. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
That's it. This is one line code, right? Instead we have almost so many lines of code. And is this readable compared to the previous one? You have to go understand what is this happening. And what is this E and grade sec? I have no idea. So if there is anything, try to give a comment. Okay. So likewise, see this operand. Now, this was I wanted to talk. You see, you're adding one thing and here. So if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 API calls are happening at a time. So 7 API calls means it's going to be, you have to wait for a big time, right? You have to wait for 7 requests to resolve. Instead, ask the API team to give a single endpoint where you can get the entire list. You want this entire list in one shot. So what happens? Only one API you have to waste for one thing, one time. So that way you can optimize. You should, as a reviewer, you have to enforce that. And same, you have to handle error cases also for these. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Same thing here. Operand, you need to, everything should come as an enum. And curriculum, this all you can figure out what you mean, what you can do. So make sure. See, I think this place, this one, a lot of things were common actually. Let's see this guy. Since I added this. Maybe in Angular 1 it was all duplicate codes. Okay, let's go to the next set of things. Okay, see all the places any other and why we are using public, we need to look into it. Okay, so this one also you can move as an enum, right? Goblins, skip. You saw this? This code is kind of duplicated, right? Here and there also. Try to make them common. So whenever you change that, uh, it applies in only one place, right? So I understand this is going to be an array. So you can actually move this to a common function, pass the result to it, and when it comes back, you can push to an array. Okay, so okay, coming to route part. So okay, let's summarize this before I move to the next one. So what are steps we need to do? Can anyone summarize? Let me pull someone. Okay, Priyanka, why don't you go? Can you summarize?
Um, make enum file and declares things which are hard coded in TypeScript file, and
Yeah.
try to avoid calling every time API. Means try to get one things in one call.
Yes. Yes. If it is not possible also, then yeah, that's a good thing. Yes. So that is one thing. And okay, good. Thank you. So coming to the next part of things is, so I did a review. Let's go to this. So you see here, there is no description at all, right? And when an application sidebar loses its menu, okay, but okay. So what is it? You have to ensure that the developer, as a reviewer, you ask the developer what was the previous issue, a screenshot, what has been fixed, a screenshot. If possible, you can upload a video also, because you can do that. Here, attach file by there, right? You can upload it. If you click, you can upload. Till 20 MB, they allow it for each commit. Okay, so you can do that. Okay, so ask them, give a small description and a screenshot. If this is not that, you should not review yourself. Ask the developer, say that developer, okay, no screenshots. Okay, and put a comment. Okay, so that it is noticed by the developer as such. So yesterday, I think I did this guy. So this is not to point out anyone. I'm just going to go through this. Okay. So here you see same thing, same issue C and pixels. Okay. While going through results, you can find out. So coming to this HTML page, here you see DDMMYY, DDMMYY, right? Next is, uh, okay, first let me finish this. Okay, so suppose if a different client comes with a different requirement saying that MM should come first and DD should come last, then what happens? You cannot go and change all the places, right? And it should be dynamic. So this one should come from a configuration. Getting my point? So this is one important thing you need to take care. Okay, and the second thing is the page sizes. I saw somewhere. Um, I don't see it here now. So this is a kinder grid, right? And the page size like 50, 100, the page size by default you see. That one all you can come from a configuration. You don't need to repeat it again and again. So try to do the same like that. Okay. So and second thing, you should not use this. See this ampersand space. I understand this was spacing you're done. You should use um, some kind of padding or something. Okay, to achieve that. Second thing is there was some internal CSS with this style. See, no inline stylings. Okay, try to use class for that. Okay, common class, because styling is tend to make the application slower. Got it? And I think this is the wrong way of doing it, giving a whole text itself. You should have a ID for it and then translate. Okay, so then only this, or else this is just like key value pair. Okay, So basically, you should just have file upload, okay, as a string. That should be key, and translate automatically goes, checks the key value pair and puts over here. That's it. So you can go through this comments. Yeah, here you see this guy, how many times it has been repeated. Almost n times. If you see, all those things are done like that. So this thing, when you compile also, it will not reduce the size. So basically, let's go to any service. What is this file name? Okay, see, same thing. You can see almost so many places this is repeated. Do you see that? Right. So this is not wrong, but it can be avoided by using like this. Okay, I'm just going to give an example. Private URL. Right, maybe you can change it to API URL. Okay, so this way you can reduce it all. While compiling it, this will be very small compared to this. Okay, and any should be avoided at any cost. Just look into those things. So any questions so far? Neha, you have any question?
No, sir.
So I hope you have understood. Okay, so while seeing the code itself, you should be able to identify what's happening and not happening. Okay, so as I told you, see this page size, where I saw it, see it's 50 hard coded. You should try to get it from configuration also. Okay, load items. This operand is used anywhere, so you just try to get it from a single call. Almost 7 times it has come. Okay, and whenever you see a console log, you should try to remove it. Okay, it's not acceptable. In production, we should actually not have it at least. Got it. So if they are just added them, so take this PR and try to utilize them. Whichever. Got it. Okay, for now that's it from my end. Okay, so as you review, I mean you think and start improvising on this. Okay, so whenever you see common logic code, try to move to common place and put it there. Make it generic enough to be used by across others also. Okay, yeah. So if there is any question, you can ping me anytime. I will try to help you out. Nitin, I'm done from my end.
Okay, thank you. I'll stop recording.